This week, the City of Houston and partners from multiple public and private sectors at the local, state, and federal level are participating in the Jack Voltaic 2.0 Cyber Research Project. The JV 2.0 Research Project, an exercise, is intended to improve preparation for and response to cyber attacks. As we've learned this year, major American cities are vulnerable if they are not prepared to prevent an attack or have the ability to rapidly respond. Earlier this year, Atlanta was hit by a cyber attack that crippled the city's online network for 5 days. In fact, I was with the mayor of Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Bottoms, at an event where she had to rush back because of the severity of that attack. In Baltimore, a ransomware attack paralyzed the city's 911 dispatch system for nearly 17 hours. Here in Houston, our 3-day exercise will simulate 2 simultaneous incidents, a natural disaster, and a cyber attack. And this morning, I'm joined by Chief Aceveda, by Chief Bunick, with Homeland Safety, Public Safety, Director of the Mayor's Office of Homeland Security and Public Safety, Lisa Kent, Director of HITS, Chris Mitchell, City of Houston's Chief Information Security Officer, who's pretty much the point person on security in HITS. Chris, thank you. And in fact, I think, Chris, you're from the military as well. Which division, which branch? U.S. Navy. And then Lieutenant General Jeffrey S. Buchanan, the U.S. Army North. Brigadier General Don Farrell, Texas Air National Guard. Colonel Andrew O. Hall, Director of the Army Cyber Institute at West Point. Lieutenant Colonel Terrence M. Kelly, Army Cyber Institute at West Point, the Public Information Officer. Lieutenant General Rhett A. Hernandez, retired West Point Cyber Chair. Ron Hom, AECOM's President. And Umesh Verma, Greater Houston Partnership Cyber Task Force. The exercise is being held in close environment at the Houston Emergency Center, HEC, from July 24th through the 26th of this year. The exercise will allow us to examine the challenges those incidents place on critical infrastructure while assessing response capability, agency collaboration, communication, interoperability, and military integration. The exercise will assemble representatives from the following critical infrastructure sectors: education, emergency management, energy, healthcare, military, public utilities, telecommunications, and transportation. And Jack Voltaic 2.0, JV 2.0, is the first combined cyber incident response exercise in the state of Texas. And primarily, JV 2.0 will study the interconnection of critical infrastructure, assessing gaps in cybersecurity capabilities, and the impact of physical infrastructure degradation on an interconnected network environment and vice versa. The research project will develop best practices and a framework template that set a foundation for local governments, as well as a statewide incident response program. And the city will benefit from this exercise to provide essential public safety information for other cities across the state and nation. Let me first call on Chief Bunick, followed by Chief Aceveda, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mayor. This is really gives Houston another opportunity to shine and be on the forefront of things. And we're doing this exercise this morning, this tabletop and live fire exercise. And there's probably 90 players and 60 observers, and it's really a full-scale exercise. Now, we've done tabletops all the time for our major events in planning and preparation, but this is really the first time that we've done a tabletop exercise where we insert a cyber security or cyber attack during the course of a major event. In this particular case, it's a hurricane. But you know, we have a good working relationship with our local, state, federal partners, and thanks to the Army Cyber Institute at West Point, and our U.S. Army and our sponsor AECOM, and several other people, We put together a great planning exercise, which we will learn from, which we will develop best practice, and just to make sure that Houston is prepared to respond to any type of instance that we have in the future. Thank you.
And before Chief Ossivator comes, we also have present here today is Councilmember Brenda Stardick, Chairperson of Public Safety, Homeland Security, and Councilmember Jack Christie, at-large council member. Thank you both for being present. Chief Ossivator.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Thank you, as always, for your leadership. And Chief Bunick, thank you for your leadership and being a great partner. We know that what we do in an exercise environment better prepares us for the eventual potential of having this kind of attack. If you look across the threat spectrum across our nation, we are facing a daily threat, not just from organized criminals that are constantly trying to introduce ransomware and hold municipalities hostage, including police departments and utilities. We also have state actors that are constantly probing our country and our infrastructure. And so I think it's critical that we work with General Buchanan and Colonel Hall to leverage those relationships, to leverage those capabilities, but more importantly, to keep the American people safe. If you think about Hurricane Harvey, where we were facing an extremely national disaster, and now add a nation actor or someone else taking out our utilities, whether it's our water or electricity, there's a fine line between order and chaos. And this exercise is going to better prepare us to not only fend off with our partners that hits and throughout the nation. And I look forward, Mayor, to actually taking these results, these best practices, and sharing them with my colleagues across the country. And so I look forward to having a great, successful operation and exercise here today. And I want to thank the Department of Defense for being a great partner, and the National Guard that's here as well, on behalf of General McNichols and our partners of the National Guard. So thank you.
Thank you. Colonel Hall.
We at the Army Cyber Institute created the Jack Voltaic series of research projects to try to give an opportunity for municipalities to explore the relationship that they had to support themselves with regard to cyber defense. We had seen that there was a desire to just say that the federal government's going to come in and help, and we knew that that was not the case. So we created an exercise, did an iteration in Manhattan, and looked at a cyber event in Manhattan. And we were pleased to get a chance to team with the city of Houston, especially the mayor, to get a chance to bring this to Houston. We get a chance to take a look at what the municipality has for their own support structure, how they work to their state for support, and how they work for the military department in the state to get the entire response. And we're really happy to have General Buchanan here representing Army North, which represents the Army component that would be so essential and was here to help at Hurricane Harvey.
Thank you. In fact, General Buchanan, why don't you come forward and just say something?
Thanks, sir. Thanks to the mayor. Thanks to the city. Thanks to all the private businesses that are participating. It's that key public-private relationship is going to be absolutely critical to success. Chief, thanks for your leadership throughout. We provide the consequence management as part of Northern Command. We help and support FEMA and the state of Texas. And, you know, from my perspective, like we did for Harvey, for Irma, for Maria, we're just here to help. It's all about unity of effort, and we're proud to be partnered with you. Thanks, Mayor.
And it's all about preventive measures, because I would tell you at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, cyber attack as it relates to municipality is real. The situation in Atlanta was real. What happened in Baltimore was real. And so it's important for us to try to be as prepared as possible. I know Hitch, Lisa, and Chris have spent a lot of time on preparing the city. How many people do we have that's working today, in this planning session today? How many people over there?
There's about 270 people there.
Why don't you kind of explain in general what's taking place? Because we are here, but things are taking place at the other location.
Yeah, we're fully operational at our emergency operations center right now with all the different things and all the people working and putting the plans together. We're represented by local, county, state, federal, and national assets. And at the same time, we have 2 full rooms of computer people that are on the computer, and they're part of the exercise where they're implementing different things and taking down different utilities like the chief talked about to make things a little bit more difficult in a real life scenario. But they're going to be there all day, and they're working out all the all the issues and all the problems on a plan that was very, very well developed by the Army Cyber Institute.